Welcome to Spintown, Spintown, creepers in the blue and gold. Spintown, Spintown, the Grim Reaper's gonna get your soul. In the cobble pit you get your soul, don't even try resisting in Spintown, Spintown!
Welcome to Spintown, everyone. Videos where I tend to talk a lot seem to do well here for some reason. I don't know if it's my sexy voice or the topics I've talked about in the past, but today I give you another gift of me. Everyone has a favorite server they like to play on, and no matter how much they like that server, everyone thinks they could run it better than it's currently run. Well, my favorite server, aside from Spinkour, is the Overcast Network. Now, I really don't think I could run it better than the current staff. I don't have the technical know-how to run a network like that, so for me to say I could run it better would be total BS. However, that's not going to stop me from listing 8 things I think the server has done or is doing wrong. I don't post in the forums over at the Overcast Network much, but I have seen plenty of people make posts suggesting changes or explaining why they think the server has lost people. This is basically my take on those 2 things. I'll be pointing out reasons why I think the server has failed in ways and give my suggestions for fixing them. I was going to do a video like this a long time ago, but I didn't want my YouTube tag taken away for it. But since my tag was removed for another reason recently, let's roll! Number 8. Too many open and empty servers. At one point when Overcast had a lot more people, I was in favor of having a server for each type of game mode, basically so people could log in and always find the type of game they wanted. But with numbers dwindling, my opinion has changed completely. There's not enough people to do that and keep servers full enough for good games. While writing this, I logged onto the server to see what servers were open and how many people were in them. Riot was open, but empty. Capture the Flag was open, with 19 players. Destroy was open, with 24 players. Alpha was open, with 1 player. Rage and Blitz were open, but both were empty. Conquer was open, but empty. Capture 1 was open, with 74 players. Mini 1 was open, with 24 players. So 9 servers open, but only 4 with enough people to have a decent game. It's great that they got rid of Ghost Squadron a while back, but I think it's time for Rage and Blitz to be combined. Also, I think servers like Destroy and Conquer need to go away for the time being. We need less servers that stay open all the time, and more that stay closed until there's enough people to warrant opening them. Why have dynamic servers if you're just going to have too many servers open on a regular basis still? Here's what I would do. Capture the Wool is still the mainstay on Overcast, so I would have Capture 1 open all the time. I would have Alpha open all the time as well, just so there's a server with all the various game modes that don't have their own server anymore. I would have Mini 1 open all the time, so there's a server with smaller maps available. Blitz and Rage would become 1 and always stay open. Arcade, if it ever opens, would stay open. We certainly don't want them to ever close it, because we'd have to wait another 3 years to open it again. No other servers would be open unless Capture, Alpha, and Mini were all near capacity and there were enough players to warrant opening another server. The next server to open should be whatever type of gameplay the server wants to feature at the moment. So, for instance, maybe they have a new game mode they want to show off. That would be the next server to open. Number 7. Piss poor advertising. The Overcast Network has totally failed at advertising. Recently, it's true they've started to improve things a bit. They have the community highlight reel, they stream on Twitch at times, and they have the community newsletter in the forums. But they still don't have a big YouTuber bringing them much attention, and they use Twitch sometimes, but there doesn't really seem to be a set regular schedule for it. I couldn't do much about getting a YouTuber. I mean, you can always reach out to the mid-level YouTubers to see if you can partner with someone, but getting a bigger YouTuber often requires paying them. And they could do that if they want it, but I don't like telling people how they should spend their money. At the very least, they should have some staff member dedicated to networking with YouTubers, attempting to get anyone they can to do videos on Overcast Network and making sure there's someone around to assist them for videos. As for their own channel, I do more than just have the highlight reel and videos from tournaments on it. You have creative people within your community. Maybe you've got a couple people on staff or in the community who you trust who would be willing to do a monthly video. It doesn't have to be PvP based either. You've got a lot of people submitting maps right now. You could do videos showing some of them off, or even interview people about their creations. Doing one of those a month is pretty simple. As for Twitch, get a weekly schedule of some kind and make it easy to find via the homepage. I don't know how many people you got willing and able to stream weekly, but it could be split up to where you stream on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with a different person each day, or any combination of days, but get a schedule and make it easy to find via the homepage. It would also be great if they were more active on other social media outlets like Twitter and Facebook. It may sound like a really small thing, but tweeting or posting daily on Facebook does help. Number 6. Broken promises. Don't make promises or announce new features until they're basically done. When I first started playing Overcast, I remember seeing a big arcade sign and being told it was coming soon. I guess if you wait long enough, that coming soon bit is eventually true, just like a broken clock is eventually right twice a day. The handling of the arcade overall has been an embarrassment, and it just tells your users that you're unreliable. Number 5. Public punishments and warnings. Make everything public again, and it would be great if there was a place for mods or admins to link their evidence for bans. Honestly, my experience with Overcast admins and mods has been way more positive than on other sites. They seem to do a good job, but I always appreciate servers being completely upfront about punishments. It also helps users make sense out of punishments by giving context, and diminishes the likelihood of people thinking there's anything nefarious going on behind the scenes. Number 4. No mods. I've never been a fan of mods. Optifine I understand allowing because it actually broadens the scope of potential players you could have on your server, but anything other than that, I'd still have banned. Even simple mods like toggle sprint are things I hate being on public servers. Basically, I don't want to go out of my way installing mods just to feel like I'm on the same playing field as others. Number 3. Simple maps and more resources. For the most part, maps are pretty simple to figure out on Overcast, but sometimes, even as a veteran player, I've joined maps where I was mildly confused about what to do or where to go. If your map takes more than 2 sentences to explain, simplify it. You need maps to be simple to figure out, not just for the average Overcast player, but for the casual player logging in for the very first time. It's great that the website has a list of the various maps on the network. I've always wished you can get more information on each map though. A couple screenshots that clearly mark the goals or important points would be great. Even if it's just a link to the original forum thread about the map, that would be useful. Maps like Rift are fun for people, but I remember wanting more information on the website after playing it for the first time ages ago. Also, there should be an easier way to search through the maps on the website. If a Google search is the best way for you to find what you need on a specific website, that website could use a new layout. Even by breaking it down by game mode, there are like 9 pages of just TDM maps to sift through. Number 2. Stats page. Bring back the good stats page. You know who cares about rank stats? Only a small fraction of competitive players. I'm not saying you should get rid of rank stats, but bring the other stats page back as well. I got a lot of enjoyment comparing myself to others with daily, weekly, and overall stats. It motivated me to play more. Now I know people complained about farming, but even before the big drop-off in players, removing the stats page didn't stop farming. The only thing you stopped was me, and I'm sure others, from spending as much time on your network. If farming is a huge concern for you, I suggest you do 2 things. Number 1, don't count objectives for people unless they stay till the end of the match. This won't stop all farming, but it'll stop people from logging in, breaking 1 block, and leaving. Number 2, have a somewhat quick AFK kicker so people can't break 1 block and then stay AFK until the end of the match. Now, that's not a perfect solution, but it's vastly better than removing a feature that motivated people to play on your network. Number 1, focus on casual players. This is my number 1 reason because I see it as the main reason Overcast has been tanking. Let's take a look at a handy dandy pie chart that I made to help illustrate this point. The Minecraft community as a whole looks like this. The part of the community heavily involved in competitive PvP is just a small fraction of this pie. So if you're going to try to grow a network, which part of the pie should you focus on? If you had to think about that answer, stop watching this video and go read a book. I know some people will say, but we're a competitive server, that's who we are, what we're known for, yada yada yada. Okay, so what? Even competitive Minecrafters start out as casual players. Think of the casual player community as your farm league. Sure, not everyone will make the big leagues or even want to go, but if you don't have that farm system, you have nowhere to pull people into your competitive community from. Having a strong casual community doesn't hurt the competitive side, it only makes it better. Most, if not all, the previous things in this list are related to this item. Let's run through the list again. 8. Do you really want new players logging in to see most of the open servers empty? When I log into a server, I at least want the impression of a thriving community. 7. If you're more active on social media, the better your chances of people retweeting and reposting to people who are probably not familiar with your product. You have to make yourself visible all the time. 6. You don't really want a first impression to be that you're not reliable. 5. Keeping everything in the open shows people you have nothing to hide and run a fair network. 4. Don't put people at a disadvantage because they didn't log in with mods. 3. I want to figure this game out in 10 seconds. 2. Don't take away one of the motivating factors that could get people on your server. All these things could help bring in and keep casual players. Sure, some more than others, but all at least in some way are related to this last item. Well, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I look forward to having people agree and disagree with most of the things on this list. Feel free to call me a big stupid poopy head in the comments below. Either way, Overcast is still my favorite server, but in my opinion it won't last if they don't change their focus from grabbing a small piece of the pie, just taking the whole damn pie.